Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where we are going to take a look at round 9 of the Goa International Grandmaster Chess Tournament being held in Goa from the 11th to the 19th of January. This round I was playing against Nithin Babu, who is like a 2169 rated player from Kerala. I think he's very underrated. I have seen him playing against very strong GMs and outplaying them, and plays against plays for a win in all games. And in this game, actually, I was able to apprehend what he is going to play against me. So I prepared only one line, and so he's playing c4 in this tournament. And I decided to go e5, g3 and h5. I wanted to play something very wacky, and after knight f3, e4, knight h4, bishop e7, all my prep. And this is the main line. He's playing decent moves right now, bishop g5. And here was the first mistake of my game. I was blitzing out my moves until this point, as is very evident from my time. I wasn't thinking until now, and my opponent had already lost around 32 minutes from his clock. I played here knight e5, which is a dubious move. I actually remembered that after h4, if white goes castles, I go knight e5 directly. So after bishop g5, I just didn't think about the position, and as I was blitzing out the moves, I played knight e5 immediately with just a thought of 15 seconds. This is something I really don't suggest anyone to do. Even if you remember the opening moves very clearly, you should take at least something like a 30 seconds or maybe a minute of thought for each moves, because you have to play the move orders correctly, and you have to be sure. Like, often this happens that you are 100% sure that you know the moves, and you just you're blitzing out your moves, but suddenly you realize that you have made a huge blunder. My prep here was h3, and the point is, after the white has no square to go to, is bishop f3 only, because bishop f1 makes no sense. Bishop d5, the bishop will be kicked by c6, and if bishop e4, it loses to knight c5, and then the e4 bishop is going to fall. So bishop f3 is the only move, and my prep was knight e5, and here queen e3 is kind of forced, bishop e6, and there are two moves, long castle and bishop b7, both leading into very complex positions. And black has some ideas like knight f g4, bishop e7, knight takes e3, and ultimately everything ends in 0.00s, but it's very hard for white to play if he doesn't know the theory. I played knight e5, which is a dubious move, and already my opponent got a very good position here, and I should have played h3, bishop f3, and then knight e5. The point is now white can move with his queen to a safe square, whereas here after h3, bishop f3, knight e5, queen c2 wouldn't have been an option, because knight f3 is just losing two pieces due to the pin on the king, and the queen has only the e3 square reasonable to move to. I played h3 here, but bishop e4 was played here, and here after some thought, I played c6, b3, protecting the c4 pawn. I played rook h5, trying to get rid of this annoying pin. He played bishop f6, I took on f6 with my pawn. Maybe something like bishop e6, and then castles was also possible, but yeah, rook h5 takes, f4, f5, and here already I thought maybe I should, like, the best I can have from this game is maybe a draw. e6, queen d6, rook d1, queen e5, bishop e6, and I laid my hope on this strong bishop on e6 and the strong pawn on h3, and I thought that maybe I can hold this position. Queen d3, rook f5, rook f1, strong move, king f8, takes, queen d6 check, takes, king e7, and rook d4, rook g8, trying to activate my rook via the g5 square, and like this. He played rook f4, bishop e6, knight e4, b6. Here actually I didn't really think that I was lost. The engine is saying that black is clearly lost here, but I didn't really understand this during the game. I played rook g5, knight f2 with the idea of playing rook h4 next and take on h3. I was also thinking about rook h8 here, but I don't know if rook h4 is working. I saw these variations like this, and now I saw something like, what did I see actually? Yeah, I saw knight d3, I think, or even knight e4 to come to jump on g5 with the knight, and if king g6, king f2, king h5 is losing to knight g5. If king h4, then this pawn ending is completely lost for me. This pawn is falling. So I played rook g5. He played g4. I think rook h4 was the best move for him. I don't know, the engine is saying knight d3 is the best move, but it doesn't have, knight d3 doesn't look so strong here. I saw rook f5, a4, b5, rook h5, f5, this, and here I saw if takes, I can maybe hope for some draw like this, but maybe it's not enough. Bishop b5 and then a6 and rook a2 or rook a1 check, and then I start pushing the pawn, and with the bishop against the knight, rook past pawn should be I should have a lot of counterplay there. He played g4, trying to go knight takes h3 next, and gives me a chance. Rook f5, attacking the a2 pawn, of course, and here he plays a4. Engine says that knight h3 is the best move, but it's not very human move because rook a2 is falling, and the a2 pawn is falling, and maybe the b3 pawn is going to fall as well, and then pushing like promoting my pawns looks much more easier. So it's very risky decision by white. He plays a4, the more human move, and I played b5, ab5, ab5, cb5, bishop b3, rook b4. Again, the only move, if knight h3, then rook b5, and I then start pushing my pawns, and it's a big question who is pushing for a win here. So he plays b4, protecting the b5 pawn. I played rook a1 check immediately with a thought of around 30 seconds. Here I should have taken a halt and thought for a bit. Bishop a4 was drawing clearly because after knight h3 I just take on b5 and I have enough compensation. I will go bishop d7 next, play rook a1 check, and then start pushing my pawn a5 a4. Should be a pretty easy draw for black, but the move I was fearing more was b6, and here I saw a b6, rook b6, and I didn't think that I could protect the h3 pawn anymore. But actually there's this beautiful move, bishop d7, attacking the g4 pawn, and if knight h3 there's bishop g4, which is an easy draw for black, and if rook b3 there's rook f4, rook g3, protecting the g4 pawn, king f6, and I just go there with my king and pick up the g4 pawn very, very easily. If king d2 something, if king d2, why am I not able to move the king? Yeah, king d2, king g5, if knight h3 check, king h4, and next move I'll play bishop into g4. I think this endgame is completely drawn because white is just not in time. But I immediately played rook a1 check. I had a lot of time on my clock and I should have thought here a bit, but I don't know why, but I wasn't feeling like thinking here. King d2 was played in the game, and here again I missed another chance to hold the balance. Rook a2 check. If king e3, now I can play bishop e6, and now there's no knight h3 because there's rook a3 check, and I'm picking up the knight, and it's me who is winning now. So he has to play something like, I don't know, he can't move his king, so what can he play here actually? Maybe knight d3 and then knight f4 or something like that, or king f2, king g3, but it's not so easy for white to win this, and I don't think he can win it if black plays accurately. But I played a stupid move, bishop e6, a2 on h3 with this knight, and after rook h1 I'm just completely losing here. He played rook f4, rook h2, knight g5, and the problem is that if I play rook g2, if he can play knight e6, king e6, and he can play rook a6 check. The point is after king d5 he can take on a7, rook g4, and rook f7, and I think here white is clearly winning, because if I play something like rook e4, then rook f5 check is coming. If king e4, rook here. I don't know, like, how is white converting here actually? If rook g2, if knight g5, rook g2, then there's just rook takes a7 check, and if king f6, there's this, and I think king e6, this pawn might, okay, just rook a4 is coming, and then rook b4, and he's going to push his pawn, and this is how white is winning. Bishop d5 was played in the game, I played in the game, and after rook a7 check, king f6, this knight is trapped, but no worries, he can just push the b6 pawn. If king g5, rook f5 is coming, the d5 bishop is falling next. I played rook h8, rook f5, rook d8, some tricks, king c1, rook d6, rook b5, bishop b7, knight f3. Here I played rook c6 check, king d2, and I played rook c4. Maybe I had some chances if I would have played king e7. Maybe the game would have continued a bit, but anyways, I'm completely lost here, so doesn't matter. I played rook c4, and I immediately saw there's rook f5 check, king e6, rook f7. Rook f7 was required actually, knight g5 check is winning on the spot, king d6, knight f7. And if king e7, which is forced, I have to go, like he can go knight e5, and it's 3 pawns up, and it's clearly winning. But rook f7, king f7 doesn't work, of course, because of knight a5 check, fork. But I played bishop f3, rook f3, rook e4, g5, and I can't take the b6 pawn because of this trick. King e7, rook f6, rook b5, rook h6, rook g5, and here a nice move, rook h8, and it's game over, because after this rook b5, you can just play b7, and I can take the pawn because of rook h7 pin, and yeah, I'm lost. So I resigned here after he played b7. A very terrible loss for me, honestly. I mean, early in the opening, I saw this only one line, but my memory is so bad that I played 95 before I played h3, and I was so upset after the game, and even here in the endgame, I missed such a simple chance to draw the game with bishop a4. I mean, I don't know why I was blitzing out my moves. No need to hurry, and he's actually a very strong and underrated player, right? So just bishop a4 should have held the balance, but I made very stupid decisions. I don't know, I can't explain this why I did this. So yeah, I'm at 5.5 out of 9 now. It was a great start, but now I'm in a hard spot. One round to go. I'm playing some 2200 player tomorrow, and I hope to win the last round. And yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done it yet. And yeah, I hope you learned something from this video. So I'll be back tomorrow maybe with the 10th round recap, and yeah, see you there. Have a nice day, evening, night, wherever you're from. Bye. Hare Krishna.